my name is Sofia Keck, and I'm here with the author of Building the Latino Future, Frank Carvajal. Thank you, Frank, for being here with me.
Thank you for inviting me, and it's great to be here at Stanford University.
Well, I'm holding your book today, and yes, we are at Stanford, and we'll get to that, why we're here in a special location here. I'm holding your book, and it's a really great book, and I'm just happy that you're here with me to talk a little bit about it. And my first question would be, what inspired you to write a book like this?
Well, the books that are out there in terms of prominent Hispanics in the U.S., they don't touch on Hispanic leadership. So in doing research, I was with the National Society of Hispanic MBAs, and I was compelled to really look at how many Hispanic leadership books are out. And during the time, there was one that really grabbed my attention, Latino Success. So I really was not only compelled but inspired to start writing a book on prominent Hispanics throughout the U.S.
Oh, perfect. And I see that your co-author is Humberto Medina.
That's correct.
So how did you guys get together?
Well, you know, it initially started with looking for publishers. My initial title for my book was From the Barrio to the Boardroom, and in doing so I had a couple of publishers who were interested, but I didn't have the leverage that I needed, so I ended up looking at, you know, self-publishing. Fortunately, I did get a publisher with Wiley & Sons, but in the self-publishing angle, I started making phone calls. The first office I called was Dr. Stephen Covey, and I had asked if a person who was non-Latino could provide a testimonial. And Dr. Stephen Covey's office had indicated that he was really busy with other manuscripts that he was going to look over in terms of providing testimonials. So the second call was with Dr. Ken Blanchard's office, and the person who answered the phone, Nancy is her name, she had indicated that not only Ken Blanchard's assistant, but Humberto's assistant is Latina. Her name's Ana Espino. So Ana Espino was the person who spearheaded and set up the meeting between Humberto and I, and he was really interested in also writing a book on Hispanic leadership. So they flew me down to San Diego. I got to meet with Ken Blanchard, and they were very interested to have me be part of the Ken Blanchard team. So I ended up signing a contract with Humberto Medina. He became my co-author, and Ken Blanchard wrote the foreword, and I've been very fortunate in that.
Oh, it sounds like really great timing.
Yes, it was perfect timing.
So for the people that have not yet read the book, what is the book about?
Well, I've created a framework, and the framework I created is a future leadership model. So I actually have interviewed 48 individuals, and each person belongs to, for example, a module that I call in the future model. For example, F is for focus, U is unity, T is tenacity, U is unique ability, R resiliency, and the most important element and pillar in our community is education. So the future model is something that it came into fruition after deep discussions with my co-author and Ken Blanchard that the future of Latinos is not only growing, but it's important for other folks such as Fortune 500 companies or large institutions to take notice of Latinos that are emerging into the future.
So you interviewed over 40 people for it, right?
Yes, that's
right. And
right.
how did you know all these people? How did you get a hold of it? How did you pick them?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, it started here in Silicon Valley. I was fortunate to interview some folks here in Silicon Valley that are Stanford alumni, like Dr. Richard Lessa, also Roberto Medrano, who he went to MIT, but he was very involved in the Silicon Valley community. He worked at HP. He later became an executive with you know, larger companies, and that was leverage for me. That it built on some credibility that other folks that are Latino success stories really wanted to take part in this project, and it's become it's not only become a book, but it's become a business idea that I've created into a summit.
Oh, great, a summit. So the summit, and that's why we are here at Stanford. It's my understanding that this year is going to take place here at Stanford, right?
That's correct.
This is the second year?
That's correct. The inaugural summit was at Sand Hill Road, and Sand Hill Road, of course, Menlo Park, which is the venture capital mecca of the country, not only the country but of the world. And I really wanted to place it at Sand Hill Road because, you know, not too many folks could think Latinos could be on Sand
Right.
Hill Road, and it was a great success. So based on the momentum from Sand Hill Road, we needed larger space because the inaugural summit sold out.
Great.
And colleagues of mine, folks who I'm partnering with, for example, Michael Lopez, who is a Stanford alumni, who is a member of the Stanford Faculty Club, had sponsored the event to be at the Faculty Club.
So from the book came the summit, and the summit is called Latino Leadership Summit, right?
The Silicon Valley Latino Leadership.
The Silicon Valley
Yes.
Latino Leadership Summit.
It's important, of course, to put Silicon Valley as not only the brand, but how we are doing things, not only in Silicon Valley, but abroad. I have an interesting story about a student. His name's Jesus. He's a student here at Stanford, and he emailed me from Chile, and he had registered for the summit, but he's studying abroad in Chile, and you know, it's just a perfect example of how we're not only emerging in today's marketplace, but studying abroad and doing things internationally.
So where are we right now? We are in a special place to take, you know, to have this interview. Where are we right now?
Well, you know, with, for example, MBAs or PhDs, it's a small percentage of, you know, of the pie. You know, the pie is really big, and as far as Latinos that are PhDs, let's just take a specific major, molecular biology, it's less than 1% of individuals. With MBAs that specialize in, for example, entrepreneurship, it's a little higher, but it's still a small percentage. And overall, the Latino population, Hispanic population in the United States has exceeded 14%. But at the same time, what my responsibility, not only my responsibility, but folks that have chosen to be on panels for the morning panel at this Leadership Summit, which is an educational panel, and the executive panel, is to really identify the talent to really mentor them along and make sure that those numbers change in the future. So initially, when I started the summit, I thought of Latinos leading with the 2020 vision. So as far as responsibility, I want to make sure that I have a summit every year up until the year 2020 to really reflect on the growth.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
That's really great. So from writing the book and doing the summit, what would you consider that's been the experience that you've had? What have you learned, you know, in your own personal life and as a father and as a Latino, you know, through this experience of putting all these things together?
I've learned not only patience, but I've learned patience from my 3 young daughters. I've learned that they are the future, as many your Latina mother, and I know how important it is to not only plant the seed for the future generation, but make sure that there's leadership, and leadership starts from the home. And I really want to see this summit a home away from home. And that's a perfect example of El Centro Chicano here at Stanford. The mission and the mantra is a home away from home, because in our community it's very important to make sure that we're still connected in our community and our culture, our family values, but at the same time culminate that with a vision of our future. So this summit really is something that I feel could be not only big, but it's important for all of us to be responsible for mentoring those future generation
And I think
folks.
it's important for other companies to support the summit, to show their support to the Latino community, and also provide them with resources. And obviously for people to attend the summit, and you know, on all those great panelists that you've put together through all your connections and, you know, personal relationships, is really a great place to have all this put together and just experience something really, really great. And did you initially write your book in English or in Spanish?
I initially wrote it in English, and I was signed with Wiley & Sons, which is New York publisher. I was very fortunate and I'm very grateful. And within the contract, our representative at the Ken Blanchard Management Companies work with Grupo Norma, and Grupo Norma is the premier and largest publisher in all of Latin America.
And I just want to bring up something. There is a book in Spanish, and it's called El Futuro Latino, and it's also available for purchase for those who prefer, to read Spanish, or the ones who prefer to read English. And this book is throughout all Latin America as well, and here in the United States. And we just really wish you the best of this. Where can we get the books?
Well, you could get this book here through my website, Es Tiempo, or Libreria Norma, Grupo Norma, or on Amazon. And my English book is on Wiley.com. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon. It's on estiempo.com. It's at Borders Books. So the book is accessible pretty much in any major book retailer.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'm looking forward to the summit this year and until at least the 2020, right?
Yes, thank you.